What's up, everybody? Welcome to another Kinstretch class brought by Stretch Effect. My name is Coach Luke, and I'll be taking you through today's 25-minute hip rotation focused Kinstretch class. Today is going to get into everything about rotation at the hip. So internal and external rotation will be priority, and then we're going to incorporate some abductions and adductions and some good stuff like that. So let's go right into sideline hip cars. So you're going to have one block under the head, you have one block out front, or you can just hug it to the chest. Either way, whichever one you prefer, just make sure you match the lower body tension that you're creating with the upper body tension you create with the block. So whether you hug it or you hold out front, just stay tight so nothing else moves in the torso, and then we can get the most out of our hip rotation here. So like I said, we're focusing on hip rotation. So we're doing a good amount of cars today. We'll be doing some other movements, but really focusing on rotation at the hip joint. Let's get two more. Up, open as much as you can. Think internally rotate, reach back and extend. Come around, come through, and just reverse, extend, come over the top, down. We got one more time here, so we're gonna come up, open, internally rotate, heel comes back to the wall behind me, extend through that hip, not through the leg back. Stay tight on that block. Get tighter every single rep. Come back over. Nice and easy and through. So we're going to go right back to our flexion abduction is called. And we're going to work some more rotation from here. So I'm going to think internal rotation, femur rotates in while my foot rotates out. External rotation, femur rotates out, foot rotates in. Got 5 reps there. Stay tight. Nothing else moves to the rest of the body. Whether you start with the block out front or next to back the chest, make sure you keep that tension. Knee doesn't move. We're just swiveling back and forth. Good, that's 3. Squeeze at each end position. If you've done calcium cards with us before, you know it's not just about moving through the mid-range, but it's really about moving through the mid-range to get to your end range and then squeeze and fight for a little bit more at each end position. That's how we build up time under tension. That's how we get stronger at our end ranges, where we usually spend the least amount of time. From there, I'm going to come forward. So now in this position here, you can think right up front of the hip, but a lot of times if we have too much external rotation, our foot will hit the ground. So you can come out from the hip and then just open up just a little bit. So think maybe a third of the way to where we were here. So now here, external, internal. Do your best to keep the knee right where it's at. Just swiveling the femur, internal, external rotation. It's 2. Squeeze. 3. We got 2 more. Squeeze. 4. Squeeze. Open. And 5. From here, before we switch sides, I'm going to go onto my back. So I'm going to be on the same leg on my back. Right leg is straight. Left leg is up at 90 degrees. I can go from the sides. So you can get a view for what I'm going to do here. So I'm just going to do the same thing, calcium card. I will go external rotation. Foot rotates towards the opposite side shoulder. Femur stays still. If you want to hold it in place here, hold here, whatever works best for you. And then we're going to internally rotate, squeeze out. We got 5 each way here. Squeeze at your end position, 5 for more. Try it out, internal rotation, squeeze at your end position, 5 for more. 2. Squeeze. 3. 2 more. External rotation. Internal rotation. 1 more. External rotation. And internal rotation. Back down. Side, going to go right leg, right side hip card, laying on your left. Again, block out front, block the chest, whichever is best for you, whichever you prefer. Feels the best, whatever lets you create the most tension. Put you down. Abduction. Here to get a little bit more. Open up as much as I can here. Keep this leg still, grabbing the floor. Shoulders stay stacked one over each other. 5 reps here. Internal rotation, external rotation. So internal, foot drives back, wall behind me, femur rotates in. External, foot rotates in front of me, femur rotates out. That's 2. 4. 1 more, femur stays still, just rotating that foot. I should say knee stays still, femur rotates the foot, right? Good, last one. Let's come down. So again, you can start at 90 if you want to just rotate here, but you may need to open up just a little bit. Same thing, external rotation, internal rotation, keep squeezing that block, external, internal, that's 2, should squeeze tight to the side, make sure we're not arching to get it up, right, so we're here as everything stays still, 3, stay locked, knee stays still, rotate 4, last one, rotate, 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 squeeze top side of that hip, and come down, we'll go to our capsule cars from the supine position with laying on your back. Arms are in the floor for stability, make sure nothing else moves, back stays nice and flat to the floor. This way, I'm just going to view what we're working here. So we've got internal, external rotation. So external, foot rotates in, comes across the body. Internal, everything stays nice and still, foot rotates out. Now as far as we can, 1, 5 reps. 2, external, rotate across. Internal, rotate out, squeeze, hold it in position for a second. Or 3, we got 3 more, or 2 more, excuse me. 4, squeeze. Down, 5, 4, and let's go. 5th one, external rotation, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Inside thigh, internal rotation, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. And relax, good. So that was our sideline hip cars, and then we did sideline capsule cars from 2 different positions and a supine capsule cars. So those capsule cars are a really great way to kind of either do pre-hip cars, because that's really just the kind of component of hip internal external rotation that defines a good healthy joint and defines the workspace that you have. Good way to kind of gear the joint up for the hip cars. It's also a great way to kind of follow up hip cars or follow up your hips when that's work. So those are great options for you there. So we're going to go right into our 90-90 hip rotation from like a abductor position. Excuse me. So what we're going to work on is, if you've done the class with us before, we've done a kind of called a kiss the heel. So it's an abduction, elevation to an external rotation work. So we're going to kind of combine all the aspects of hip rotation here to really kind of pull everything together. But it's also kind of going to gear us up for some other work that we're going to do. So from here, you're going to find the position that's best for you. So the more forward you lean and the more out to the side you lean, the easier this is going to be. I would say start a little taller and then find, as you feel like you need to lean out to create more of a stable position, then lock yourself in that position. So I'm going to start out a little bit leaning out to my right, because what we're going to be doing is, it's called abduction. So I'm working knee, shin, foot, everything together. So what's going to happen if we're too high here, too tall here, we're not going to be able to lift this up without us shifting out, right? So shift out, set your position. If you find you need to shift more, then solidify yourself in the position that you shifted to. If that makes sense. So here, so I'm locked in, body stays nice and tight. I'll let your knee, shin, foot together. I'm going to come up. I'm going to come here, so I'm pulling my knee straight up, in line with my shoulder. As much as I can, I'm going to externally rotate, and then I'm going to try to kiss, heel, heel, come back, but I'm not going to touch down. Okay, we're going to do 5 reps, and these are called extended hovers. So I'm lifting, rotating, tapping, coming back right before my leg wants to touch down, going right back into the next rep. Okay, we got 5 reps here. Lock in the body, lock in the torso, keep everything nice and still. I'm going to lift, so I shift a little bit there, so lift, up, rotate, tap, come back down. Before we set down, right to the next rep, up, externally rotate, tap, rotate, back, don't set down. We got 3 more there. Tap, 3, last 2, up, rotate, last 1, up, everything stays still, externally rotate, tap, and back, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and set it. Very good. So we're going to switch the other side with a good hip rotation transfer that we're going to work. So from here, we're going to go, you've done this with us before, you know, we've done from here. So we're going to go a little bit more internally rotated position. So hands behind me, chest is tall, heel comes up, but this knee is going to follow it, right? So it's not just here. On the heel comes up, knee will rotate around, so I'm rotating through the hip, knees driving it around my big toe, okay? So heel is elevated, big toe's down, come up as far as I can, right back down. Up as far as I can, right back down, try to touch knee back down, try to keep everything else nice and still through the torso, spread the floor with the hands. We got 3 more. Open, back down, open, back down, last 1, stay nice and tight. We're going to transfer to the other side. Finish now. Open, 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 open as far as I can, open, open, open. Still driving my right knee into the floor. Take 1 more big deep breath. On the exhale, rotate a little bit more open. Now my knees can't get any further apart. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep driving my left knee, so my lead knee is going to keep going. But now because my knees are still, or my knees are far apart, right, I can't get my right knee any further down. So now left knee starts to pull that right knee. So now there's a string connected. They're both driving away from each other. But the tension of my left knee driving this way is going to pull right knee along for the ride. So now I'm in a bear sit position. I'm just going to keep transferring to the other side. Hands stay behind me. Make sure you keep a slight bend in your elbows. If you don't hyperextend your elbows, that can lead to some pain. So make sure that does not happen. Okay. I'm going to get left knee to the floor. And as much as I can, let's get big toe on the right side down. Rotate hip as far as I can go. I don't want to just do this though, right? So I'm going to go as far as I can go in the hip rotation. Once I can't get any more, then I'll shift this right hand forward, bring my body forward, and now I can get back to the floor. Okay, from there, we'll do our kiss the heel on the right side. So your right and left hip abduction, right, may be different from side to side. So for me, I know I need to lean more to my left to be able to get this leg off the floor without my body shifting into it. But again, first rep, maybe a little tester rep that you may need to kind of see where your body needs to be. If you find yourself shifting more, shift your body position to where you shifted to, and then lock yourself in. So then you know you don't have to move it. It's going to still be a challenge. You want it to be so challenging to the point where you want to think as you sweep your heel around, you want that heel barely off the floor. So if you're way up in the air, it means you have more room, so you can just scoot up a little bit, become a little bit more vertical. So have your hands on the floor, you can grab the shin, whatever allows you to be more secure. I'm going to lock my body in place, find where I need to be. I'm going to lift, so I'm going to lift here, right? Lift up, heel scrapes the floor, kiss heel to heel, right back, don't touch down, right back up, rotate, tap, back, don't touch down. It's 2. Up, rotate, tap, 3, up, rotate, tap, 4, last 1. We're going to hold 5 at the bottom here on the last one. Tap, as tall as you can be. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back down. Very good. Now we're going to transfer back over to the other side. So I'm back in my 90-90 position here. We're gonna do 5 of our transfers, but we're gonna do our hinges, or sorry, 5 of our hinges before we do our transfer. So body's locked in, everything's nice and tight. Create tension through the torso, tension through the abdomen, big toe on my right foot's down. I'm gonna lift that knee, rotate as far as I can. From there, once I find my end, rotate back down. Try to get that all the way down to the floor, all the way back up. That's 2. 5, and then we'll transfer after the big breath. Down that big toe. 3, every time you hit your end, so you go here, so every time you hit your end here, take a big exhale. Try to push for a little bit more. You'll be surprised how much more your body will give you just with some breath, especially the exhale. That's where your body feels most relaxed. Because when it feels real, so you know that the exhale, part of the passive stretch, is where your body gives you a little bit more stretch. So we're going to rotate around this big toe one more time. Get to your end. Big exhale. Push, 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 push. This can't get any more. Then I just start to bring left knee along for the right. But remember, doesn't move the other way. Right knee is pulling the left knee because the knees are as far apart as my body will allow. So now just me shifting my weight more towards my right will just bring my left along for the right, but knees are continuing to drive away from each other. Think like these are allergic to one another. From here, rotate down as far as I can before my body wants to do that, right? So I'm finding here, can't get any more without shifting my spine. So now what I'm gonna do is take my right hand up front, and that just gives me a little bit more space. Now I can get back down to 99 down the other side. Okay, so what we're doing now is we're going to do the same thing, except now we're going to add internal rotation. So that was an abduction, kiss the heel. Now we're going to do an internal rotation, kiss the heel. So it's a very similar movement, but just subtle differences. So instead of just lifting the whole leg together, now I need to shift forward so I can get foot off the floor. So internal rotation lift off into abduction, kiss the heel. And as we come back, we're still not going to touch down, but now I want you to think as you come down, instead of just holding knee, shin, foot level to the floor, give yourself a little internal rotation bias where now I'm trying to lift that foot while I hold. Okay, so you'll get the gist of it as we go through a couple reps here. So think, find your position. I like to hold the shin, but it's up to you. Or over here, if I'm blocked, use kettlebell. Like we shifted out for the abduction, right? You still need to shift out, but you may need to shift a little bit more farther forward so you can get that internal rotation lift off. So think lift, coming up again. So that's into external rotation. Coming here, and now as I come here, come around, internal rotation bias. I'm trying to lift my foot without touching down. Straight back. So instead of just holding that shin off the floor, now I'm trying to hold the shin off the floor and lift my foot higher than me. It's 2. Up. Tap. Lift that foot. 3. 2 more. Lift the foot, lift the foot, lift the foot. Give yourself an internal. 4. Last one. Up. Scrape the heel on the floor. Tap. So now we're going here. Now instead of holding up, we're going to go here. So knee goes down, hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Very good. Okay, so from here, we're going to do a transfer to the other side. Same way. So now I'm here, more internal. But now to my 5 hinges, I'm going to give myself a little manual resistance. Okay, so first one, we do it like this, right? Reach here. Boom. Now I'm going to be here. Same hand, same knee. From there, just resist, nothing crazy. Give yourself a little bit of resistance as you open up. Still allow yourself to get your full end position. So I'm driving down here. Rotate, 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 rotate. Now I'm going to drive down here. It's going to be eccentric. So now this knee's trying to drive this way. This hand will win. All the way back down. That's 1. Up. Knee wins. Down. Hand wins. 2. knee. Crushes down at a 9, drives up at a 10, and then we just reverse back the other way. So we got 3 more here. Knees driving up at a 10, hand driving down at a 9, get to my end. Hand drives down at a 10, knee drives up at a 9. 3, 2 more. Drive up, drive up, drive up, drive up, drive up, drive up. Drive down, drive down, drive down, drive down, drive down. Drive down, last one. This one we're gonna get all the way to the end. Over here, drive up, drive up, drive up, drive up, drive up. Now from there, just go behind you. Now we'll just transfer. Nice and slow. Rotate, 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 rotate. Come down. Now we got 5 of our kiss the heel with internal rotation bias, 5 for hold, and then we'll do 5 reps, transfer to the other side, and we'll call it a day. That's it. So what we're gonna do is go knee down, foot up. So find yourself, shift out, shift forward, get up, lift, up, tap, and down, lift that foot, try to lift higher than the knee, right back, up, tap, try to foot higher than the knee, 2, 3, whew, it should be smoked by now, tap, 4, last one, slide that heel on the floor, rotate that hip in the capsule, last one here, come down, now we're going knee down on the floor, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back down, very good, okay. Last one, do that resisted knee hinges, or hip hinges, and then we'll transfer to the other side and we'll call it a day. So, same side, same hand, crush down on that knee, hand crushes down at a 9, knee drives up at a 10, and then we just switch rolls on the way back in. So resist, find your body position where you gotta be, everything stays still, drive up, find your end, hand drives down at a 10, knee drives up at a 9, give yourself a little resistance, 1. About 5 seconds up. 5 seconds. 2. 3, 2 more. Push that knee down, knee resist. Hip resist. That way it's set. Last one here. Drive up. Knee wins. Hip wins. As far as you can go. Now, behind you. And then transfer. Nice and slow to the other side. All the way down. And set down. That is it for today's class. A hip rotation focused Kinstretch class. And although we could have thrown in pills and rails because that technically is rotation, really wanted to get the hips moving, so this would be a great class to do in the morning. This would be a great one to do end of your day, pre lower body workout, post lower body workout, really anytime, because we didn't really go too hard with the intensity in terms of pills and rails, stuff like that. So you're free to do any activity either before or after this one, because this was really focused on the rotation from internal and external rotation, and then we incorporated our 90-90 with our kiss the heel, transferring back and forth. These transfers are great really anytime. But again, really just getting into the rotation of the hips from some multiple positions. We threw in some different variations for capsule cards as well, so those are great. You can throw in again anytime, pre-pills rails, post-pills rails, pre-post workout, anytime. Really, the more cards you get in, the more capsule cards you get in, the more hip rotation you can get in, the better your hips are going to feel, the better hips you're going to perform, and the less injury risk you will have inherently in those activities. So, thank you again for joining me today's 25-minute hip rotation focused Kinstretch class. Hope to see you.